podcast. Now these Rubber Boots podcast. We wanna thank you for listening. We're sure you never thought we'd last. Oh no. We're gonna talk nothing, very little sports with your host Jimmy, Young James. And now you know for sure that it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a blast. Oh yes, this is the podcast.
If the Rubber Boots pod ever ends up on television, which it should be, we've all said it's overdue. You would have enjoyed what happened during that intro where they have a new studio here. They built the studio that Jeff O'Neill built. Essentially, the O-Dog's popularity has caused Overdrive, the Toronto radio show that he is on, to turn into a television show. So for the first time, we're in a TV studio doing the podcast, and there's monitors so we can see ourselves. And you know those idiots that like walk by the Best Buy or something, and there's a monitor and they see themselves and they get all excited?
Yeah.
Or the idiots that see themselves up on the Jumbotron at the gate?
I'm one of those.
Yeah, you're one of those. That's us. That was us during the intro. Hey, look! We're on TV!
Yay!
There's Lester and Puffy and James Stoffs behind the glass. This is the Rubber Boots podcast. I never do official intros, but I'm always leery. Someone told me the other day that you might have new listeners and they have no idea what the hell's going on. So
the best is you might.
Not likely.
Yeah, I mean, anything
Could
can happen.
be. Anything's possible.
But you may. I had a tip. I thought I'd open up with a tip because we were talking last week about, it's a sports podcast technically. If you look on the Apple iTunes for it, if you're searching for it, it goes under sports.
Maybe that's why.
That's questionable.
We never talk about sports.
It could be under. Should I lobby the Apple people to put us under? I would say
Lifestyle.
comedy, but that might be saying that we.
Yeah, I think
maybe
lifestyle.
unintentional comedy.
Yes.
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle, I think. It was lifestyle, yes.
I was hoping we'd get in under education, because last week we had very educational stuff about pigeon porn.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So I'm going to offer an educational tip today.
Yep.
I was on hold for an hour and 25 minutes with the Visa card people. I don't know if I should mention the bank because they might be a sponsor at the network sometime. So
the pod.
Or the pod. So I was on hold for an hour and 25 minutes.
They never came back? It was just you listening to music for that long?
It's a longer story that I don't know if I want to get into, but I was on with the fraud department.
Oh.
And they said you have to go to the dispute department, not the fraud department.
Did it end up with them saying, Brooksy had all these charges? They're all legitimate.
I'll get into it later. How's about that? It has something to do with us booking a villa in Spain.
Oh.
And it being a fraudulent villa.
Oh.
And them charging us for it. So I was on with the Visa people for an hour and 25 minutes. And when I got back on, the guy said, you have to wait one more day before you file your claim or whatever. And he said, so I said, well, I'm not going to wait for another. And the reason it was an hour and 25 minutes is because that airline, WOW, went bankrupt.
Yes.
Oh, it did?
And so everybody is calling their credit card companies around the world saying, can we get our money back?
I've never heard of WOW.
Either have I before until that's probably why it went bankrupt, because I'd never heard of it.
Where was WOW out of?
I don't know, but it's got written WOW in big letters across the side of the plane, which doesn't really inspire much.
I'm not going to say it.
They're out of Spain. They're attached to that resort.
That would be, if it was an airline that was exclusively just for the Mile High Club.
Wow.
WOW Airlines would work, right? And you pay a little extra.
Pay
Ooh, we're in a little early hypothetical.
Yeah, for a swingers type atmosphere. There's no seats. There's just a bar in the middle. Hold on, I'm going somewhere with this.
I don't.
This is really starting to work for me.
You and I have had this discussion. I don't want any swingers type atmosphere.
You and
I would be
Brooksy are on
very
there.
uncomfortable in that. The whole idea of these sex clubs where people are walking around naked with their cocktails, I could never do.
See, I wouldn't do it on a short flight, but if I had to go like Australia,
You do.
I think I'd be more game, because then you got some time to make some things happen. You don't have to just quickly try and find a partner.
Wow. Recovery time would be important too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
a couple sessions in.
a couple of sessions, just sleep for a couple hours, get up.
The thing is, you'd have to have some beds and stuff. You have to pay more for that.
Pods.
Oh, the pods.
Swinger pods.
Swinger pods.
WOW Airlines. We could single-handedly bring WOW Airlines back.
There'd be people that pay a lot of money for that. I think that's what happens on private planes anyways.
Does it?
At least from what I'm led to believe.
Yeah.
From the movies.
Have you ever, that whole Mile High Club thing?
No, I've never done Mile High Club. I have flown private, though.
Lester?
No. I'd always be afraid I'd hurt my back somehow,
Stuff.
Have I been in the Mile High Club?
Yeah.
No.
I did it.
No way.
Hand gliding.
Literally hand gliding.
A solo mission, James?
By myself in the pod on the way back from Calgary. No. Anyway, my tip of the day. The nice man on the other end of the Visa line, I believe his name was Abraham, said to me, I said, Abraham, can I not deal with this right now? Well, look who's here, ladies and gentlemen.
Free Rod Smith, baby!
The man who thought he'd been fired from the pod wrote me a very concerning text. The Rod Smith recap, which has been dead for the last, I'd say, 5 weeks.
It's on hiatus.
Out of pure laziness on behalf of the producer and one of the hosts.
Yes.
So Rod Smith, baby, is in the house, in the new studio.
I should thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you still appreciate it when it comes time to put pen to paper, because I should tell you, my agent has my number, and that text was actually sent by him without my authority.
Is that still Emilio? I miss him, too. I actually miss him more than you.
Wow.
I miss him.
How you doing, buddy? Is everything
Excellent,
okay?
thank you. I hope we get this contract sorted out, because this holdout is it's killing me, man.
Yeah,
I miss you guys.
it's annoying as hell. You
But-
don't want to
but,
sit.
you
You don't
know-
want to sit out a whole season there, Le'Veon Bell.
But we have our principles, and we got to stick to them. So.
Let me
But-
finish the story before I get completely sidetracked, and then I'll bring you back in. So you missed the beginning. I said I was online with Visa for an hour and 25 minutes. Then they said you have to call back tomorrow. So I said, Abraham, I was just on hold for whatever. I'm not going to call back tomorrow with all these idiots complaining about WOW Airlines. So what am I going to do? Can you call me back? He said, no, but here's the tip. Tip O of the day.
Okay.
When you call into Visa and it says, would you like to proceed in English or French? Press French.
French, that's right.
Oh.
And so
Then you don't speak French.
No.
no,
they're
but all
bilingual.
of them are required to be bilingual. And now I'm thinking this may work for Air Canada, for
100%.
banks,
Everything.
100%.
So I hang up the phone. I said, okay, I'm just going to try this. Hour and 25 minutes on hold. Phone back, French. 15 seconds later, bonjour. Boom!
Wow.
And then what did you do?
Did you try to speak
I
French?
said, well, I can speak. J'ai pris les immersions français à Ottawa, Gloucester High School, Emily Carr. J'ai perdu beaucoup, mais
So then did you just immediately go to English?
I just said, sorry, it's okay. I don't need you, but merci beaucoup. And I just hung up because I got to deal with them tomorrow anyway. So
Yeah, but the only thing is, if you come on and you can only speak English, they might say 1 second, sir.
no, he
I'll
said,
transfer
Abraham
you
told me,
over."
said, no problem, said, I pressed the French button, but they will deal with you in English. They're not going to hang up on you because of it.
They can't know. That's rude.
No. Isn't that something? So
That's very good.
education
Yeah, but
on the
now
Rubber
you
Boots
just
pod.
told everyone.
Well,
There's
y'all-
going to be like
our-
7 more people now. They're going to know this information.
Our 8 million listeners.
That is a good point.
So the 12 people that would actually use this tip
hope everyone
spread
uses
over
it, yeah.
6 months
Yeah.
to 18 different companies will change everything. Anyway, tip of the day. Maybe you should have our Rubber Boots tip of the week to make your life more interesting. In other news, I've been frauded by some guy in the UK.
What's his name?
His online name was David Dribble. Oh. The company was Home Away. I don't think homeaway.uk would ever sponsor anything on TSN, right?
No.
So I can say, you don't have to beep that out. Don't ever use those.
They're
So I've been having trouble getting my money back.
Oh, so this happened to me once, like credit card fraud. Just
Not really, more like a website booking fraud, but go ahead. You had a credit card fraud?
well, when I was over in England at the Olympics in 2012, I came back to find out that I'd racked up $1,500 at a gas station in Quebec somewhere during the same time.
Wow.
But the nice thing was, and I don't know how long it took me to get through, and I didn't have to try the French line, but as soon as I explained it, I was shocked because I thought I was going to have to fight here. And it was like it was like it happens every day. Which,
The Visa,
which it probably
probably
does.
does.
the
yeah.
Visa companies are great that way.
I think they have
They
very
figured-
good insurance.
Figured someone at the gas station, I don't know if it was someone who worked there or someone else, or they had a camera.
Right.
But they got the card information and they sold it.
Right.
And there you go.
It'd be funny if like Roddy called and said, hey, look, I have this $4,000 bill at Chez Perret, and there's no way this is accurate. It was more like $12,000. Could you please adjust my card? Let's get to things that I saw on Twitter.
Freaky pics, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
Things that I saw on Twitter is brought to you by our friends at Untuck It. I was giving our producer Stoff a hard time for being lazy on the Rod Smith recap, when really it was my responsibility. But he's really stepped up when it comes to things that I saw on Twitter.
Yes, he has.
I think last week was maybe our best edition ever.
It was.
We got into, was it Armando the pigeon?
Yeah, pigeon porn.
Did you ever get an update on the pigeon porn, if it exists?
No, but I sent you that text earlier this week. Someone in my neighborhood is raising pigeons, so I will look into it.
How far is that from your house?
It's 2 streets over. I was walking my dog, and there's this big pigeon.
Do you see them flying through the air?
No, just inside of that big box they have. No, they're not the Nazi fighting ones.
Well, I mentioned as well, I actually did some research on this, and I've got some pigeon porn audio. It exists.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Can you hit that, Saw? Stole my song? Unbelievable.
Those pigeons are sounding pretty happy.
Did the music play first and then it happened?
I don't know what happened. I'll tell you what,
was that actual pigeon making love sound?
It was.
Did you have that? Do you use that on your tracks?
I'm going to use it now.
Little known secret.
Clearly.
Do another mix with Roddy's Untuck It read.
Yes. Yeah. And the pigeon's banging.
And have the pigeon.
Just that pigeon sounding.
I knew as soon as she walked in. Yeah.
You know what? I just came in to say hi. Because I got to go.
Oh, really?
And you know what? And if this is the way it's going to be in these contract talks, this could be long and drawn out.
Oh, wow.
Because, Rod Baby loves you very much, but feeling a little disrespected right now.
Wow.
Got to tell you.
This is the first controversy we've had in a while on the pod.
Sit down. Congratulations on your award. You deserve it.
Yeah.
But I think,
what award are you?
Got to hammer this out. Because you guys are nothing without me. You know that, right?
Oh,
wow. Well, get the hell out of here, then.
Goddamn.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
I guess that's what I'm saying, Brooksy. Get the hell out of here.
You get that through your head?
Yes, Smitty.
Free Rod Smith, baby!
Should there be free Rod Smith baby shirts out there? Roddy, the recap will come back. I apologize to our listeners for that. I had looked up something on the bird sex because, again, in our efforts to be in the educational category on Apple Podcasts, it was the cloaca that you were talking about last week, right, Stoff? The cloaca is both the male and female organs for there's no penises in birds. Birds do not have penises. And so, but
what's the cloaca look like, though?
So I can feel it's like a pouch.
My neighbor.
It's a pouch. It's an internal chamber, the cloaca, but there's an opening, and through the opening, the testes. So a male has testes, and I guess the female has ovaries. Yeah. They discharge the sperm or the eggs through the opening in the cloaca. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to feel it's like a coin slot, probably.
And then it's repeated deliveries.
Do you think it? Yeah. And so when they rub up against each other, the cloacas or the cloacal opening.
Do they become aroused?
Yes, they swell. They both swell.
Oh, okay.
So they both swell at the same time, and so the cloacas protrude outside the bodies, and they rub the swollen cloacas against each other. This needs your soundtrack too, doesn't it? I'm getting a little hot.
Yeah, no.
The male's sperm stored in the cloaca, deposited into the female's cloaca, where it travels up the chamber and fertilizes the egg.
And then how many babies are made?
It's called avian insemination. Birds only have sex in one position. Despite rumors to the contrary, it is not possible for birds to have sex while in flight, unless they're on WOW Airlines.
Is it called Birdie style?
The male perches on top of the female, who moves her tail feathers.
All the while, they do it
Birdie style. I like that. Arching back, the male rubs his cloaca against hers. It's a delicate balancing act that can take several attempts before successful copulation. They have sex many times throughout the course of their mating period. The Educational Rubber Boots Podcast.
Nice.
Update again from last week when our friend, we had a listener who wrote in. We had a listener who wrote in who had said he'd gone into the Untuck It store.
Yes.
In Pittsburgh. I should take this time to say that it's never a good look when you untuck a long, bulky dress shirt. Untuck It has a casual shirt that's not too long, not too short. They're for any occasion. Casual, dressy, more than 50 sizing options. And you can use the promo code RubberBoots for 20% off your purchase. Stop hiding your shirt with your pants and your pants with your shirt at untuckit.com. It was Dave, Pens Fan 7.
Yes.
Who went into the Untuck It store in Pittsburgh, and The staff didn't know who we were. We were disappointed in that. Dave
Must have been new staff.
Yeah. They weren't fully trained.
Dave wrote back this week and said, "Thanks for the mention on the pod, guys. It was so cool that I had to tell someone, but then I realized I don't know anyone else who listens." Told my wife. She didn't care. Love the pod.
That's awesome.
Thank you for your support, Dave. That's
I
Dave.
have the same problem with for myself.
I know. That's Dave, our only fan in Pittsburgh. If anyone else listens in Pittsburgh, please let us know, because maybe you and Dave could get together.
They could do like a listening party.
Yeah, listening party.
Yeah.
Get together.
Get some beverages. Put their Beats headphones
Where do we go?
on.
Where did we go when we were in Pittsburgh for the Cup final? What was our favorite establishment?
Little
pub across.
That little Mexican place.
Oh yeah, that was handy.
That was good. I like.
Oh yeah,
that.
like the $1 tacos and stuff
there was
like that.
6 of us piled into like that little booth. But
that was handy.
Good.
That was close to the rink too. Yeah, we had a good time. And there was a pub
time.
right across we went to.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lester, we're making you feel left out again.
No, that's fine. I'm listening. It's good. I wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Kind of like last week's pod, eh? All right, Christoph's got a whole bunch of new fun things that I saw on Twitter. First, Enterprise car rental employees. An employee of Enterprise Car Rental. By the way, very good company. I use them often when I rent cars.
Do you?
Not a sponsor of the pod.
Not yet.
He spiked his coworker's water with LSD after they complained about negative energy.
In Arnold, Missouri, say a 19-year-old Enterprise car rental employee spiked his coworkers with LSD. The worker reportedly told police he did it because his coworkers had negative energy and he wanted them to lighten up. Police were called to an Enterprise rent-a-car location after workers started feeling dizzy and shaky. Police say the 19-year-old admitted putting LSD in a couple of workers' water bottles and in a third worker's coffee cup. No charges are expected until lab tests are done on the bottles of water.
Wow.
Those
So
symptoms.
A-hole or A-okay?
I was gonna say those symptoms just sound like when I work out.
Would if I did that, would it enhance the pod? I used to bring you guys bottles of water. I've kind of slid on that. On LSD?
Maybe not LSD, but on like some drug.
I can't do that. I'm clean. I'm a clean man.
What do you mean you've never done drugs?
No, I said I'm a clean man now.
How about if we spike your drink?
All right. Yeah, I don't know. As long as you don't kill anybody, he should probably get arrested though and go to jail, shouldn't he?
I think that you should send him to jail for like 4 days.
I can't believe it. Like, I'm sorry.
What does LSD do to you? The guys at the counter, you're coming in. You want an SUV? You want an SUV? You want a midsize? Get a midsize.
We're just giving him
He thinks that that's okay. Like how can you do that?
He probably has some issues, Lester. There's probably some
I'm just
other
glad
things
the guy
there.
doesn't work at McDonald's.
You know what I'm saying?
This is the you'd be putting in your Big Mac.
Oh my God.
Speaking of LSD, I was downtown yesterday. I was going to bring this up later in the week that was, but I was trying to show Darian around Ryerson University.
Okay.
Nice. One of the schools she's considering going to. And so we were walking around getting a tour of Ryerson. And some guy, and I don't think he was mentally ill. I think he was on something, but I'm not sure. But he walks up and he says, "Hey, I need some help with an address." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he goes, 380 Gould Street, 380 Gould Street. And I go, I don't know, but the tour guide was right there with me, and he goes, "Yeah, that's just down 2 blocks, right down there." He goes, "Okay, what street is it?" and I go, Gould Street, and he goes, "What's the number?" And I go, I believe it's 380. He goes, "Okay," and he goes.
That guy has no short.
And that was my lesson to Darian. Okay, a downtown university like Ryerson is a different experience that you'll
100%.
get from a campus university.
Yes.
Maybe we'll have a segment called "Where Should Darian Go to School?"
I agree.
That we should bring up a little bit later on.
Quick little story about people like that downtown, and this is something that I'm bringing up only because I think it's interesting in the context of people being downtown. But it ended up being a band name.
Okay.
This guy. So I'm downtown with a friend of mine many years ago, and we were in a band, and we're looking for the name of this band. We have no idea. So we're downtown.
Wait a second. You're looking for the name of your own
band? Yes, we formed this quartet. We didn't know what to call it.
Me and Puffy have a lot of ideas for names for your band.
Oh, I know you do. So anyway, we meet this guy, and he says, he stops us. He goes, "Excuse me, what color is your soul?" And I go, "What? What color is your soul?" And he goes, It's there's 3 colors for your soul. It's red. You want to give your soul to the devil. Yellow. It's not sure. And then green. You're ready to give your soul to the Lord. It's like the stop signs out here on earth. Whoa. And his name was Joseph, and and his wife Mary were on their way to Bethlehem because the world was going to end in another 50 days.
Right.
And they wanted to make sure they were in the Holy Land.
Right.
But anyway, the whole moral of the story is there's some crazy people in Toronto. But also,
Did you call the band?
The Color of
Red
Soul.
Soul.
The Color of Soul.
Should have called it Red Soul.
Red Soul.
Dark
Soul.
The Color of Soul. There you go.
That was the band.
That was the name of the band. Great name. Yeah. Wow. Support the cause.
Did he make it to
Color of
Bethlehem?
Soul.
Was Tony Ferraro in that band?
No, he was not. He was not.
Elton Ron, was he in that band?
He was in that band.
Any of the Gravediggers in the band?
No.
Any of the Lester McLean band?
Yes,
The
my
Lester
brother.
McLean trio?
My brother. Yes, my brother.
What about the Boy Wonder?
Boy Wonder, no.
No.
Good plugs, though, guys. Look, you know what?
We
this
listen at
this little
least.
thing, I know it's a little segue into what you were talking about, but this shows that you actually listen to what I'm saying on this pod. And remember...
Things that I saw on Twitter. Number 2, Cam Newton gives up climaxing for the month of March.
In March, I'm giving, I hope this is an adult crowd. It looked like it is. No climax.
Shut the front door.
Yeah.
So is that for himself or for the ladies as well?
Because you gave that up for 9 years. I think that would likely mean himself. So this has been heard of. Some athletes like the build-up, and there's the other philosophy, of course, of athletes liking to satisfy themselves before an athletic
For big
event.
games, yeah.
But I think what this leads to, more interesting, to each his own.
Yeah.
No problem if you're Cam
But why is he
Newton.
giving it up in March?
That's an odd thing, isn't it?
I think Cam Newton's giving up one thing per month. That's part of some discipline he's doing.
Maybe you give it up for Lent.
So you get one thing
I
a
definitely
month.
would have went with February.
Yeah. So cookies in April and climaxing in March. Now, does that mean? So he said climaxing particularly. That means he may still engage.
He can still
but stop himself.
engage.
That's no fun. That's no fun for anybody.
Yeah, that's different.
Okay, I believe that our friend Aaron Korolnik, massive fan of the pod, trying to lobby for the 5th bedroom in Turks and Caicos. Aaron does a fine job producing the TSN 1050 morning show here. He talked about this on the morning show.
If I told you wouldn't get paid for the month of March, or you'd have to give that up, what would you take?
So either not get paid for a full month or not climax for a full month.
Yeah,
Pretty much, right?
This is a Puffy's hypotheticals to a nod to the Rubber Boots podcast.
I'd take the no pay for a month.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. I can't function, man.
That was Carlo Koliakovo, former NHL defenseman, now radio
I can't
star.
function, man.
We definitely know that he was not abstaining during the playoffs in his career.
That's a good drop, by the way.
I can't function, man.
So, Aaron's stealing your stuff, but fair enough. As a little Puffy's hypothetical,
Yep.
what would you?
I am definitely Team Koliakovo on this. I would.
No
Cer-
chance. Am I giving up a paycheck?
Oh, you wouldn't give up a paycheck?
No chance.
Well, your paychecks are a little bit larger. I wouldn't give up one of your paychecks.
I wouldn't give up one of your paychecks. I can handle a month. Come on.
You could go a month without finishing.
Yes. Get
I think-
Brooksy on.
But
Get
how
Brooksy on the
often
line.
do you get up to the finishing and not do it?
Oh, that's a
Zero.
good point. Either you follow through or you don't.
wait. Sorry. What do you mean by that?
So you're saying you would basically just abstain from any activity, I guess, for the whole month?
No, yeah. Well, because of that, I think the easiest thing for me to do would be that I'd move into the loft and tell Brooksy to just back off for a month because she has trouble resisting. Let's be honest.
I guess that's what I'm saying, Brooks.
And I would just keep to myself and watch a lot of Netflix.
Now, would you be nervous at all if on like day 22, Brooksy is fine and looks completely comfortable with the situation? Maybe like she's been relieved already.
I think the month is up already would be a Brooksy quote that we'd probably hear.
Wow.
No, you can't give up the dollars. Come on.
This is
Lester?
that catchphrase we keep hearing in sports media: load management. I believe that's what we're talking about.
Oh my God, I'd be in a knot.
You'd be
Yeah.
a mess, right?
Yeah, I couldn't 2 weeks or something.
I would accept the challenge, but like the day after, I'd be like, oh, I just.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a joke that you can beep out, or you can beep out keywords, or you can edit the entire thing out. You can decide stuff. But I used to have this editor way back in my old days in Ottawa named Dean, and we were having some sort of conversation like this, and he said, Are you kidding me? I'm so horny. I finished first and third in a off contest.
That's great.
That's good.
I know I should beep something. I just don't know what it is yet.
0 beeps.
Leave it in. Let it go.
Let that baby lie. So you said no. You said no. I said yes. There's no chance. I'm passing up the cash for. It'll make you healthy.
Jimmy.
Imagine how much you'd enjoy it on the 1st of April.
You better hope I never win the lottery.
Fantastic.
Because I'm going to have you going cold turkey for 2 years until you explode.
That's so. You see, when Puff wins the lottery, we've often talked about this. He's just going to waste it all on silly hypotheticals and making us do dumb things.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'll offer you $100,000
super rich, except for me.
It'd be great having you around. Harry Kane wants to kick field goals in the NFL. That is the British soccer star. Wants to play football in the NFL. Is that guys have said this before? I think soccer stars actually just think they can transition.
The guys who are transitioning now are the Aussie rules guys.
Well, that makes more sense.
Yes, of course.
There's no parallel. I guess free kick. There is some parallel with precision in soccer, like the Javenkos sort of thing.
But they're also not kicking. Well, the goalies can kick at a good distance, but.
And there's not big giant men trying to
break your legs.
I think field goal kicker in the NFL and the CFL as well is one of the toughest jobs in professional sports. All football players hate them because they play the whole game, bust their asses, and this guy ends up, some 45-yard kick will decide the game, and this guy's not even got his uniform dirty. But that's a hell of a lot of pressure.
Like, and the coaches and players just look at you with such disdain
when you miss.
That Chicago kicker. Like, their head coach could not have hated that guy more.
There's been some epic ones in the last few years. Remember Minnesota
against
your Seahawks,
Blair,
wasn't it?
against the Seahawks.
That was about a 31-yarder.
Seahawks signed him after. I think it was part of the deal.
Horrendous.
Wow. I always remember when Mike Vanderjagt went off, and it was Manning.
Manning.
Our idiot kicker. It's just our idiot kicker.
Get drunk and lips off.
Right. A guy sneaks a 10-inch gun into jail. This was also things that I saw on Twitter, and I think we know how he did that. A 10-inch gun snuck into jail in his cloaca.
We have an audio clip for that.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
After we left the hospital, he was searched, and then once again, he was strip searched at the jail.
But the next day, inmates told jailers there was a gun in their cell. Troopers say despite multiple searches, even a standard squat and cough search, Ward somehow stored this 10-inch long 38 caliber gun in his rectum.
Wow. But sorry,
how much money?
I had never heard of these squat and cough. Is the squat and cough search a standard search in prisons? Have you ever done the? Let me see if I can do that.
Can you even? Yeah.
Certainly, I think it opened up your cloaca.
Please tell me this is on TV.
Yeah. In a brand new studio.
So if you cough while you're in the squat position, things are supposed to shoot out your rectum?
Well, I think it would just open up the cavity.
You do it.
You can't.
Careful, Puff.
I'm gonna myself.
I didn't feel any opening. You felt an opening?
Yeah, my ass opened.
I didn't feel anything.
I don't feel anything.
But put a 10-inch gun in your ass, and I think you'll notice. Obviously, this guy pulled it off.
Okay.
Well, I assume it wasn't loaded.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
That would have been irony at its finest.
Yeah.
Is if that sucker went off.
Yeah, the only guy that died probably the guy standing beside him too.
Now, wouldn't they go through a metal detector?
Yeah.
Well, maybe he said he had
like a cough thing.
Plate in his ankle.
You're like, we're gonna strip him anyways.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Who's got? That's a bad gig, being the guy in that room.
Also, that's without getting too medical and graphic, that's a loose anus.
Very much so. Very much so. I guess he'd been to jail before.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Never apologize, Lester. Never apologize for being who you are.
Yes.
And this ties it all together. Stoff's last item was how WOW Air, it's an Icelandic budget airline, has gone under in the middle of the night and cancels all flights, stranding people across 2 continents. Hence the reason that I was on hold for an hour and 25 minutes.
So Icelandic
visa.
Like, Iceland's become like a pretty much the jewel of the north. Everyone's going.
Everybody
there
wants to go to Iceland. Have you been? Anybody been to Iceland on the panel here?
I have not been.
Oh, a lot of
I know people who have, though.
People have told me. David Amber, our buddy, went to Iceland last summer, 2 summers ago. He raved.
Yeah, apparently it's beautiful.
Really nice.
A lot of drunk
But now
people.
no one will go there because WOW will not. Well, it's done. Probably that's how everyone's getting there.
Yeah. Fascinating. Great edition of Things That I Saw on Twitter, brought to you by our friend Christoph and our friends at untuckit.com. Let's talk about something that's not a segment. Sometimes we get too segment focused, don't we, Puffy?
Sometimes.
While we're on Things That I Saw on Twitter, how about Things That I Saw on Instagram? Because Puffy and I have noticed. Puffy and I have noticed
We've
that
noticed
there's
this.
a trend. Hold my phone here as I get there.
Yeah.
It's,
my God.
Our friend Chester McLean.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of very, and I don't mean like, when I say sexy pics, I don't mean like topless with his cloak showing.
No.
I just mean that I tried to look up Lester McLean and I got this guy. Who's that guy?
I don't know. No, it's
Why don't
Lester McLean Music.
Oh, thank you.
At Lester McLean Music.
Well, I know I do follow you. I just can't. What am I spelling wrong? Lester McLean.
MC.
Yeah, I know. That's what was my problem. Lester McLean Music. Look at. Now, I know this isn't great podcasting, but if you go through the last few
if
weeks.
you go to Lester McLean Music.
Yeah, Lester
you can
McLean
follow
Music.
along now.
Yeah, please, follow along right now.
Give him a follow.
Lester McLean Music.
Thank you, guys.
There's just an awful lot of sexy. They're all sort of the
all
same
the same
thing.
picture, kind
all
of.
All the same pic. Looking into the camera.
Yeah.
Got his glasses on in that one.
Is it St. Patrick's Day today?
Hello. I'm going to look sexy.
Sexy on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, I'm with Elton Ron. I'm going to look sexy.
Ooh.
Oh, look at this purple vest I'm wearing. I'm going to look sexy. And I think Puffy's phrase to me when he brought this up before you walked in today was, Lester's on the hunt.
On the hunt.
Look at this one. Outside with the shades on. Like, that's the one that would put me on air wow with Lester.
Yes.
In a pod. Look at that one. That one's hot.
So if there's any ladies,
is this a coincidence or just more of a we're friends here. This is your safe zone. Are you looking?
What? I know I'm not really looking. I'm just honestly, it was one of those things I just realized I hadn't posted in a while. And I was like, all right, let me throw a couple of selfies up there.
You're looking good, buddy.
Thanks, bro.
I'm just jealous.
I feel pretty good.
No, you feel really good. And then there was this one that's kind of snuck out. This was this didn't even look.
Oh,
Jimmy Snooker.
That's me.
It was him in 1985.
Yeah,
Jimmy,
my Jimmy Snooker doll.
Yeah,
and I said in that post that I had a Jimmy Snooker doll and also O.J. Simpson. And they are both murderers.
Did Jimmy Snooker kill someone?
Jimmy Snooker, he
besides Don Morocco's career. 80s wrestling reference.
I don't even get those jokes.
I can't remember his girlfriend at the time. This is in the 70s. It was long speculated that he murdered her. And towards the end of his life, he died last year or the year before last. But unfortunately, he died with that shame of that hanging over him because it was basically proven that he did. In fact,
a lot of our heroes from the 80s, 70s and 80s turned out to be not so good guys.
I wasn't a wrestling guy, as I've told you guys, but I knew only Jimmy Superfly Snuka because he was in a Young MC song that I used to know. And I can fly like Jimmy Superfly Snuka, like a kid. You know?
So who did you think that was?
I don't know. I just sang it. I can fly like Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Like a kid playing tag guitar.
I was a pretty big Jimmy Superfly
I say
fan.
Ollie Ollie Oxen.
Oh man, listen.
I come up, Young MC.
Yeah.
Yes. What was the photo? Was it Ahmad Rashad?
Ahmad Rashad's wedding.
Right.
His two groomsmen
were
O.J. Simpson,
Bill Cosby.
and Bill Cosby. I was going to say what a murderer's row. But
wow.
Oh, that is awful.
The bachelor party would have been off the
outstanding,
though, for sure.
Yeah, they would have.
Let's get to the week that was.
Let's discuss the week that was with James Duffy and the Rubber Boots Podcast crew.
All I was really going to do at the week that was, which is brought to you by our friends at idrinkcoffee.com, was start that where does Darian go to school segment. Because I thought people could send in. We have a lot of college listeners, a lot of university. We have a big university crowd.
Yep.
We have people that have been to university. I think we have a highly educated listenership.
Sure.
For sure.
So right now, Darian has been accepted to Carleton University, my alma mater.
Nice.
For journalism. Might
Really?
follow in
Is that
daddy.
what she'd like to do?
She doesn't know. She likes writing.
Okay.
Ryerson University, also journalism.
Journalism.
Then she's waiting on some business schools. Guelph University.
Okay.
McMaster University.
Hamilton.
Western University.
London, Ontario.
WO
Puffy's,
spells Western.
where did you go against?
I went to York. I was here.
York University.
Yes.
She did not apply to that. So it's kind of an Ontario question. I apologize because she loves her dad so much she couldn't leave the province.
Where her daddy
should
she
Darian
goes
go
to
to
Western.
School? What?
We'll have new daddies there.
What?
That's what the older guys would have signs to the dads when they were dropping their daughters off.
I said what?
You don't want to know. I did not partake in those signs.
Yes, you did. I guarantee.
I enjoyed them.
What did they tell me? What they said? Give me they said.
Your daddy's ours, your daughter's ours now, and stuff like that.
Oh my God!
Right outside of the residence.
All this stuff that was funny to me years ago.
Yeah, this was like the
funny.
90s. I mean, you know what happened then?
It's much worse now.
On a flip side of that, Brooksy likes to call me Big Daddy, and that nothing
like in the bedroom or
no, just in the house.
Okay,
nice.
And nothing upsets my daughters more than that. Every time she says, "Go tell Big Daddy dinner's ready," and they're like, "Mom, don't ever say that again."
Brooksy's the best.
Anyway, that's not a long segment. Where should Darian go to school? You can write us at the Rubber Boots Pod and fill in. Do you have a vote right now?
I would say she should go to Western.
Oh, didn't you want her to go to Guelph because Driggs'
Oh
son
yeah,
is going
Driggs'
there?
son's going to Guelph.
And it's your dream for Driggs' son to hook up with my daughter?
I would love to be at that wedding. Driggs' speech would be one of the all-time great ones.
That would be my greatest nightmare.
I would love to see her go to Carleton. To follow in your footsteps. I think that's nice.
Yeah.
Too big of shoes to fill.
I was about to say the most vain thing in the world. I'd be like,
my legacy there.
That'd be really tough for her to follow me there. How could she? What an asshole.
But it's true, James. I'll say it for you.
Yeah.
She'd never be able to reach
no
your
love
heights.
for Clemson?
Oh, Clemson. That's where I should have sent her. But I'm kind of worried about the guys there, too. Anywhere.
They're at least they're national champions. They're winners, James.
Well, I know.
Hell of a soccer team.
Here's my question. How much are you going to pay for her to get into school? Oh.
Well, maybe there's some university admissions people listening that could help out. Big fans of the pod.
Big fans.
We could pull a little
like,
that. What's her name? What are those mums in?
Lori Loughlin.
That's what I was referring to.
Is that Lori Loughlin?
Lori Loughlin.
She is taking it so in the I feel like.
No, where you going, brother?
She's getting it the worst.
In the cloaca?
Her daughter hates her because her daughter's saying you ruined my life and career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's probably going to go to jail.
Right.
She's lost every job.
Right.
It's she probably did do some wrong. But it wasn't like she killed someone or something that she was paying money to get. She was paying somebody money to get her daughter in university.
So if you find out that Darian, who is about 5'2",
yes,
is the projected freshman starting center at basketball for the Carleton Ravens women's team, will you wonder if Jimmy creased?
Well, the thing is, your daughter's smart. She'll just get it on her own marks.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Right. The only other thing that happened to me this week, and it sounds we had the awards night, the Canada Screen Awards.
Oh, those were this week?
Those for this week.
I guess I didn't win this year.
You were mentioned.
Did I get a shout out in any speeches?
Yes, you were mentioned in multiple speeches.
That's perfect.
Lester as well.
Nice.
I dedicated my speech to the three of you guys.
Oh, that's very nice.
And it was teary-eyed. Lisa LaFlamme was there.
Was she?
Oh, Lisa.
Andy Petrillo was there. Rick Mercer was there.
Oh, wow.
Ron McLean was there. Our friend Ron McLean.
All of Canada's finest.
All of Canada's finest were there. It's a very weird award show.
In all seriousness, congratulations.
Oh, no. You see, as soon as I brought that up, I said, why am I...
No. We should have...
What did you win for?
Hey, guys, why didn't you ask about the award?
What did you win for?
Whatever the category is, best host.
Best host, but what year was it? Because they're always 9 years behind.
I'll be honest.
Frenzy, wasn't it?
We have a nice... Susan Marcus does an incredible job putting together these applications. I never have any vague... it's usually Trade Center or Free Agent Frenzy or whatever that I get nominated for or that Bob or Dregs get nominated for. And I never have any recollection if I did a good job or bad job on any of those shows.
But it's just weird, because they'll be I think the guys who won for the Grey Cup, it was the 2017 Grey Cup.
Yeah, there's some weird cutoff date. It's a year behind or something.
Yeah.
The only thing, said a tweet of Trady and I. Did you see that?
I saw it.
And he says, guy wins an award for this. Which I thought was very
awesome,
funny.
James. How many have you won?
I don't know.
You don't.
7.
You've won 7. Wow.
I look forward to the podcast. I wonder if they're going to add a category for podcasts. Because if they did,
podcasts?
You would be a multiple award winner right now.
We would not win.
No, we just
for this
we
podcast.
wouldn't get nominated and be like,
What do you mean?
Could you imagine if we won
Best
and
music
I didn't let you
score
guys go? I just went up on stage. Thank you. I told you about that story when, back when I was a local news guy, I did some investigative series and won an award for it. It was like an Edward R. Murrow Award. It was, at that time, I thought a very prestigious journalism award. And I went to L.A. for the award.
Really?
Yeah, and the managing editor of the station was with me. I think I might have told this before. And so we're in the crowd together. Brooksy wasn't with me, so it's just me and him, and they're going through the awards, and I lean over and say, "How long do I have to speak?" And he goes, "Oh no, you're not going up. It's just me going up." And I was like,
"What are you doing there?"
Oh, and why did you fly me?
Exactly.
I rented a tux for like $400. But brought Brooksy to L.A. with me.
Why did you were the guy?
You're the
though.
winner.
You're the face.
I don't, because I think it's the first time the station had won this kind of award.
Oh, man.
So it was like the president of it?
And he was one of those guys. It wasn't Max Keeping, God love him. He wouldn't have done it. Was another member of our management team, and it was funny because nobody in the crowd knew me anyway, so it didn't really matter. But I just thought it was laughable. It was so funny. Anyway,
Dick.
Yeah,
that is
the only reason I brought up the award show is I couldn't remember if we've told funny award shows stuff on here. Like I did get really drunk one. Ron McLean used to. My wife used to call these awards "Get Dressed Up and Lose to Ron McLean."
Yeah.
And rightfully so, Ron would win all the time. And I started winning my fair share somewhere later on in my career. But one year, you can always go by the seating plan. Like the funniest year ever, Dregs was nominated. Back in the days when Dregs was at the other network, I think him and I were nominated in the same category. And Ron McLean or some other, I think maybe Scott Oak or somebody talented like that was also nominated. And we got in the crowd, and I was in like row 20.
Yeah.
And let's say Ron McLean was in row 1 center.
Yeah.
Like, you know, at the Oscars.
Yes.
And Dregs was in the balcony. And so Dregs gets to his seat, and there is no possible way he can get to the stage if he's won. Like he can't. He would have to plummet to his death to get to the stage. So you're not winning when.
That's
so I had
awesome.
one of those moments. Michael Landsberg and I were both nominated. And it was a weird night. They had like a little bit of seating for about 50 people. Then they had basically a mosh pit where people like in the crowd were standing. And then at the back, they had more stands.
Yeah.
And Landsberg and I were in the second last row in the back.
Oh, my God.
And so I got in there and sort of checked out. I guess I went and checked out my seats because the party was right next door. There's like a cocktail party before. And I'm like, okay. There's no shot. So I just started boom, boom, double fist, double fist, double fist, double fist. And Ron McLean is up there in the front row, center.
Ready for it.
And it was at the CBC building. And so I'm like,
Home court. You got no shot.
and the winner is James Duthie. And I was so petrified. And it took me about 3 minutes to get to the stage. I had to go through the crowd, and people are sitting there drinking, barely paying attention. And I'm like, sorry, I got to go by. I got to go up on the stage. I got to get this award. And that was the drunkest I'd ever been. And I had to sober. Like, it's amazing how fast you can sober up when you need to. And I had like 1 minute to sober and think about who the hell I was going to thank. But I'll never forget Dreg sitting in the balcony that night.
Yeah, he must have been bombed.
By the way, Dreg's nominated for the excellent feature that
Paul Ranger.
Yeah, Paul Ranger.
Yes.
Paul Ranger came.
Did he?
Which was very cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
And Trevor Kidd also came, who was part of Finding Murph.
Yes.
The other great feature that we did, and that Trevor Kidd was a part of. And so Josh Scheinman and his guys do an unbelievable job on all those features. So very proud of all our people at TSN. That was the week that was. I should probably ask you guys about your week.
Didn't win any awards.
Oh, well, who would? When would you? Lester?
No.
I was hammered on Saturday night.
Were you?
Why?
No, not really. I just wanted to.
Stuff?
I've just been staring at Lester's pictures all week.
iDrinkCoffee.com sponsors the segment.
Middle of the morning, can't keep my eyes open, cause I got to have a cup of jabber. I got to have a cup of jabber. So I better log on to iDrinkCoffee.com. iDrinkCoffee.com.
Before we get to, are we going to call this What You Watching or Puffy's Hypotheticals? Puffy is so brilliant, he's taken two segments, brought them together as one. But Lester said, maybe we should. Do you want to talk a little hockey, Lester, just before we get into some more?
You know
frivolity?
what? All I have to say is this: at this point, as we're taping this podcast, my beloved Montreal Canadiens are in the playoffs.
In the dog race.
They're in a dog race. It's very exciting, and I personally don't think they're going to make it. And the reason I say this is because it's just the way I think it's going to go. Their power play has been terrible all year. They haven't addressed it, and I think it's going to burn them. If it hasn't already, because there's several games. They should be at least 10 points up from where they are now if they had any type of power play.
Do you think if they made it and played Tampa Bay, that with Carey Price, they'd have any chance?
Yeah, I do. I think they've played Tampa well this year.
You know what the interesting thing is? The two teams fighting for that playoff spot, Columbus and Montreal, have the two goalies that could maybe do that in a series. Like if Bobrovsky gets hot or Price gets hot.
They can steal a couple games.
Are you, the general feeling is your Toronto Maple Leafs are in big trouble against the Boston Bruins because of the way they've played for the last month or so. Would you concur with that theory?
I don't want that series to go 7. I can't handle this.
Would you rather lose in 5?
Yes.
Would you rather get swept in a horrendous way than lose in 7 in overtime?
Maybe, because if they get swept, then there actually might be some changes that need to probably be made.
Oh, you're the coach? Think your coach is gone?
Maybe.
Let me say this.
Where if it's a tight series, if they go 7 again and they lose, it's hard to Boston's a really good team. So.
I think we're going to Winnipeg and we're going to Tampa Bay for the Stanley Cup final.
Really? I think Nashville.
I still think Nashville. I don't think Nashville's very good.
They don't look very good. But
Washington.
Here's the thing. To Puffy's credit, and the thing, even with people, I'm not a Leaf fan, as you guys know, but I always think that in hockey, all the time, the first round is goofy, and there's always, everybody has all these things figured out. And that's why I kind of think Toronto this year, because just the second that everybody figures, they got no chance this year, is the exact time they'll win a series in 6. And that's just hockey. That's why there's a show with Gino Reda.
I think they just they can't win in 7. They got to win in 5
you right
or 6.
now. I'm saying this across the country so everybody can hear. The Leafs will win that series.
The world.
I believe the Leafs will win that series.
At some point, your John Tavares signing has to create a massive matchup advantage.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Now is that just a Habs fan jinxing the Leafs?
Yeah, I think
probably.
No. Listen, I believe that I'm one of these guys that's fair about everything. Okay, I can see. My point with the Habs is this: if they don't get into the playoffs, it's still a successful season because I thought they were going to be garbage. No offense, Jimmy, I thought they were going to be the Ottawa Senators.
But it'd be better if they missed the playoffs.
I'm not an Ottawa Senators fan.
If it would be,
yes, you are.
Jimmy, come on.
They're not very happy with me right now. So,
but it would be better for them to be the Ottawa Senators this year.
Yes.
If they're going to miss the playoffs anyways, because then you're going to get that top pick who could be a really good player.
But the cupboard's pretty stacked already with good prospects. And we've
really
seen,
stacked.
Okay, this is starting to jeopardize our chances of being in the educational or comedy segment of the podcast listings.
Imagine comedy.
You guys in your sports.
Would I be able to say I'm a comedian if I'm in a comedy?
A comedian or a comedian?
Comedian.
A comedian would be like Sarah Silverman.
Buffy the comedian.
We only have 10 minutes before we get kicked out of here by those overdrive so let's, what do you want to call it? Do you want to call it What You Watching?
What You Watching hypotheticals.
Okay.
What you watching? Just between you and me. What you streaming on your TV? Let me see. What you watching?
Puffy's hypotheticals. Who really gives a crap? All the ladies want to hear is the Rod Smith recap. Blah, 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 blah. Roddy is the best. The best.
I mean, it's not Lester's most polished thing to put the two songs together like that. I'm sure he could work something else. Remix. Okay, so how have you meshed these two together?
So what I've been watching is The Dirt on Netflix, the highly anticipated Motley Crue. It was based on the book.
You know, I thought it was a documentary, but it's not.
No,
you're telling me.
It's not. It's with
a film.
Machine Gun Kelly, who's mentioned earlier, is in the movie.
I didn't mention that was off camera, you idiot.
Oh.
Marty Biron, listener and a big fan of us.
He's in it?
Oh, that's what it was.
He wrote us because he was talking about last week when Puffy's A-hole or A-OK about swearing and playing cursing music in front of your children. And Marty said he took his 14, 12, and 10-year-olds to a Fall Out Boys concert where Machine Gun Kelly was the opening act. And he didn't know that the first Machine Gun Kelly song would be Bad Mother. And for about 2 months after, all his kids were listening in the car to the song. And the whole car screaming the lyrics. And he said the line of the concert came when his 12-year-old said about Machine Gun Kelly, Daddy's a very good entertainer, but I don't like his message.
That's a well-raised boy.
Marty Barone doing a
Very
fine
good, very
job
good.
raising his children. Okay.
Okay, so
Dirt.
The Dirt. Has anyone watched The Dirt?
No.
Does anyone?
I will watch it.
Yeah.
Some people are saying it's garbage, though.
There's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of misogynistic behavior.
I'm in. I'm just kidding.
So it hasn't. The behavior has not aged well.
Oh, okay.
But
Like
it
the
is
girls, the groupies lined outside the door kind of
yeah,
thing?
stuff like that. But it is, if
No
you,
different than
if
the
you're-
rubber boot spot.
Exactly. If you're, a fan of 80s metal or like just, backstories to bands and stuff like that, it was entertaining. It was
Okay, and which brings us to the
It's a
hypothetical.
fun. So my hypothetical is, if you could have been in any 80s band, which 80s band would it be? The choices I came up with: Motley Crue, New Kids on the Block, U2,
The Color of Soul,
or the Color of Soul, or Public Enemy.
or
Wow.
Haul and Ass.
Haul and Ass.
Jimmy's
Gotta go with
band.
Haul and Ass.
Jimmy's high school band. Okay. Do you want me to? I'll go first on this.
Sure.
I'm going. What did you say? Backstreet Boys?
I said New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block is my answer.
That's your
Because
answer?
I don't think that. I think New Kids on the Block. I don't think I could handle the type of groupie that goes with the heavy metal band. I don't think little Jimmy was just too timid to handle that kind of pace. And I think New Kids on the Block. You'd have more of a wholesome audience.
I don't know, Jimmy, if you have correct information on that.
No, I'm not saying that.
It would have been a lot of
the
moms
backstage
that would've-
people.
Yeah,
Maybe that would be fun. How about New Kids on the Block now, still
Oh.
touring?
Yeah.
Would you like that?
I'm sure they're doing quite well for that.
But I don't get the sense that I couldn't have been doing like the
But you'd be
heroin
doing-
into the vein and then going out in the show. I couldn't live the hard life where the New Kids on the Block, it's probably just the groupies and then they're drinking a Diet Coke. I think I'd handle
I
it
don't
better.
think that's at all what was happening.
No,
I'm
you
sure
don't
they were
think
having
so?
a good time back there. They're regular dudes.
Not Donnie. He
Wall-
wouldn't do
Donnie-
that.
He was a bit of a bad boy. If
Donnie
you remember.
wouldn't do that.
He was the bad boy of the group.
Who the hell else was in that band? I don't even remember anymore.
Jordan Knight.
Jordan Knight.
Oh, yes.
Joey.
Falcone.
No, he was in the NSYNC.
Tribbiani.
No, he was in the Friends.
Something for Joey.
That was also in the spin-off to Friends.
No, that was a movie about some.
Oh, that was from the 70s, right? The kid who had cancer. And,
yes.
Yeah, I went to Penn State. That's a sad movie. You want to cry? Watch something for Joey.
Okay, so I don't know any more of the members of the New Kids on the Block. I get them all confused. Was Timberlake in there?
No, Timberlake.
98 Degrees? Was he in 98 Degrees?
No. I don't.
Timberlake
Nick
was
Lachey
in
was in 98 Degrees.
Menudo? Was Nick Lachey in
You
Menudo?
want to be in Menudo?
Yes, that's Menudo's the one I want. You're lying on the beach in Cancun. You're doing a show. You're 12.
You're getting paid.
What about the Hanson brothers?
$0. I was walking around my neighborhood, and are you doing that on purpose? I got like this buzzing in my ear. It honestly is like that Operation game.
Oh, where you hit the sides of it?
And like
You
somebody's
might
like,
be getting shocked. And I
yeah,
have
somebody's
nothing
like,
to do with that.
somebody's shocked.
Here's the thing. I put a little LSD in your beverage. Who are you taking? We got to get out of here soon.
I'm taking
Motley Crue?
No, I'd probably take U2.
Oh, Bono. Well, I remember I had told you about my buddy's girlfriend running off with the Edge.
The Edge, yeah.
That was a previous podcast edition.
I'm
so
sure
that stuff happened.
The life would have been pretty solid.
Yeah, no, U2 makes sense. Lester?
I was going to say U2 only because of longevity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that'd be pretty, like, they're still really good, and that'd be a good tour.
So are you just, though, this question is purely about, like, groupies and the lifestyle?
No, like the whole thing.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Everything you get from
But
it.
it's just from the 80s. You're just living there.
You're just living the 80s life.
And I would say honorable mention to Van Halen.
Van Halen, yeah.
They party.
They're also in a bit of the dirt.
Senorita, I'm in trouble again, and I can't get free. Most underrated Van
Very
Halen
good too.
song ever, right?
That album's that's the cover record though. That's Diver Down, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's
a lot of people don't like that Van Halen record. If you
Really?
have, yeah, because
I
there's a lot
love
of
Diver
covers.
Down.
Yeah,
I liked 1984, I believe it's called.
with
Yes,
Jump.
Jump.
Yes, stop.
Stoff, which
Panama.
which band are you taking?
I'm going Run DMC.
Oh,
All
nice,
those free sneakers.
nice,
Nice.
smart.
Yeah.
I saw a thing on that whole Walk This Way song. They were like tricked into doing it.
It's tricky to rock a rhyme, That's
know
right,
what?
on time
It's
is
pretty
tricky.
interesting.
Very, very, very astute move by them, though. It changed.
No, but they didn't.
They didn't do it. They didn't know. They got tricked. What's that? Rick Rubin?
Yeah,
he kind of he gave them the beat, but didn't tell them it was like a.
Run
Aerosmith
DMC got tricked into that. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I said now Backstreet Lover,
and then they kind of did it, and then it was like and then it became this massive.
Nope, the best thing that ever happened to both bands.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Aerosmith was dead before that.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny though? Like you wonder about the things that have been successful that were mistakes. I remember Burt Reynolds. Boogie Nights, which I think he either won or was nominated for an Oscar for, and revitalized his career.
Yes,
that he read the script and thought it was garbage.
Yeah,
and said was about to fire his agent. Said, "I can't believe you're going to make me do this," and had no idea. And then boom,
they're going to say that same thing about this podcast with you, buddy.
I'm sticking with my New Kids on the Block. I think boy band was always a fantasy of mine, and I think we're kind of living it right now here on the Rubber Boots Pod. Thanks for listening.
Groupies have been good.
We'll see you next week.
Yes.
Hey, how are you? I got a question that I really want to ask you. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like a dunk tank at the fair? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? The dunk tank at the fair. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? No, seriously. Are you wearing your rubber boots? Don't hang up, please. Somebody. Hey? Anyone?